Hey LEGO fans! A couple weeks ago I posted a video about this Lion Knight Castle expansion that I had made for myself here, and I am shocked and surprised. There's 10,000 views after a couple of weeks, and that's just really exciting. I didn't expect to get 20 views after 6 months, and maybe a couple people will actually watch it, but that is amazing. So there were a lot of comments too, and of the comments, a lot of them are instructions, please. Well, I'm sorry, I can't make instructions for this. I've got 4 little kids, a full-time job, a part-time job, and just no time to get in studio and do that and make instructions for the center section. I wish I could. That would be so cool. But that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to kind of give some up-close views and talk about it a little bit if you want to stay tuned. If you haven't seen the original video, I'll put a link in this, and that's probably a better one to watch if you haven't seen it yet. Other questions? Is this made from a second Lion Knight Castle set? Yes, it is. The left part and the right part are per the instructions of the original set, and those still have all their pieces. So yeah, I had to get another set to build all of this in the middle, and no additional pieces were used outside of the set either, though, like for my own pieces or anything. Other comments were huge compliments. Just thank you so much. It's amazing to hear such positive feedback. And another one that I hear a lot is, what's next? Well, I think I've got an idea for that, to kind of put in another section to either the left or the right of the center of this one. And pretty excited about that, so stay tuned. This was only the 3rd MOC that I've made. I made another one just from scratch, and then I made a little addition to the Black Falcon's castle a couple years ago. That's not too complicated. And then this is kind of the big thing for me. Anyways, diving in, I just want to show you guys from the front of this, really the key and important part of this is the connection points in the front. And all you really need to do is this piece here needs to mimic this section. And so it'll fit together. And then this section, of course, is a mimic of this section. And you'll see that theme throughout, that mostly everything is just a copy paste of other features. Like if you look at this front tower here, that front tower is the same dimensions pretty much as this one. And of course the window is using, something that's built somewhere else in the castle. And this top piece, this is exactly the same as the top section back here. So trying to really keep it in the theme of what the castle looks like and have it blend in as well as I could. That's kind of what I stayed with. Like the entrance there is the same construction as that one right there. And let me turn it around so you can see what the connection points are like on the back side. Okay, so on the back side, this wall here really just comes up close but does not connect to the tower. So the connection points are the same as the original design inside. You've got this one clip sticking out here, and really you just need this to meet that somehow. And of course you can design whatever you want here as long as it kind of connects up to that. The other side is a little more tricky, in that back here there's a wall section on the original design that I kind of created a slot for that to fit into. So you have the one connection point there and a clip to go with that. But you've got this wall section here that sticks out. It has to have some place to go. So I really had to just build, or at least it's the idea I came up with, was building this slot here. And the wall section just fits in there. And this top piece, of course, comes up like that. But this section was really kind of the trick on this side. And then, of course, you just need the connection points with the original. Gonna spin it back around. So to really focus on the center section that I built, here it is. And I did continue the tunnel through. And there's a little section for a treasure chest there and some little details like the bats. But other than that, it's basically just an empty tunnel. And I used some arch pieces there. But really, there's not that much specific you need to do in there other than you need to be able to support this plate here. And it comes through the other side. And you really just need this connection point here and a flat surface and this connection point here. And then whatever you want to do in the tunnel, that works. The tower, as I mentioned, is more or less a copy of the other tower. Windows are a little different. And inside there, I just built a platform up and used the stair pieces that were in the original section over in front of the little market stand. And then going around on this side here to this building, this ended up really being a flat surface here coming along, and built a little doorway through here. This section here is covered up when it is connected together, and then this hinge piece, pretty easy to do, and then you can have kind of an imagination for the people that can travel back and forth. And this roof comes off. And really just kind of copied a lot of the tiling and other features. That fireplace kind of comes from the Baker fireplace section, and the banners, of course, are the same. The chairs are copied. Kind of remade the table that's in the Baker section, except I believe this is smaller. And really the subfloor is just whatever you can do as far as using different size plates to put under there. It was kind of a trick to kind of find what was there and use the pieces. You know, like I said, I didn't buy specific pieces to fit. I just used the pieces that were in the set. And you can see the front there, that piece has to be there to hold up the arch pieces. And then this fits on there like that. And using this large plate here for this section with just a little bit longer than that, I ran out. This was one of the last things that I built, and I ran out of these 4 stud long pieces and had to use what was remaining, which was these, and thankfully I had enough. And this was kind of one of the last things I built too, so it was just whatever thatched roof pieces were left, and just a little detail there with the barrels and the crates. Coming around on this side, use that piece for a ladder. And this tower section is pretty much just the same as the front ones. You've got to make sure that there's some tile pieces underneath here so you can go on an angle, and a couple of the hinge pieces to hold that together. There is a pathway to that window there, but there's no way for me to show it. Skipping the tower for now and coming along to this wall. Probably the most simple feature of the build was this wall here, and just having kind of a support up there for that platform and some arches to add a little detail. More or less just a wall, and then needed this depth here to be able to connect right up next to the tower of the original. And the courtyard is kind of, you know, whatever you want to do in there. You could put some like a training area with some fighting dummies or something like that, or weapons racks or food storage or whatever you want to put. And the ramp down is just kind of the original ramp from the front. And kind of just built up the walls, what made sense to me. The arches there kind of have a pillar to support the plates for that room there. And then there, the door is kind of a copy, again, from the bedroom area. And this balcony is pretty much a copy from the other balcony, except that it doesn't split and open up like the other one does, of course. And just, you know, you figure out how to make it work and put it together. This doorway, again, seen similar things in the other areas. And these windows here on the sides of the tower are copies from, I guess, what is the bathroom window on the other. And for these doorways, I just had to find something to connect. And I think the best thing that was in the castle set is using these here. That window is the same as the one that's in the kind of the mill area in the original castle. And building here, I can't really show it better than this. It was just some kind of neat looking little items of curiosity kind of dangling there, and some piping and flame and whatever, you can think of to kind of make it interesting looking. I guess there's arrow slits throughout the entire castle, and it's just, copied the same way that they did it there. And that's sort of a modified version of some of the other weapons racks. And for the floor pieces, really just trying to find whatever tile pieces kind of fit in there and trying to find some way to support them underneath. You can kind of see in the back I've got the angle piece coming up there. I have some pieces coming across to do that. And I wanted to leave openings. Minifigures can't fit through there, but it's good enough for me as far as taking a look at it and kind of imagining that there's a way for them to travel. And then up on this level, didn't really know what to put in here, or ran out of ideas or whatever, but kind of an observation level. And then up to the top, it's really as big as the white and black building was on the original set. It's really a limitation on pieces for white and black. So on the back side, I didn't kind of have what I needed to make that work, so that's just how it ended up. And I felt like the other sides were more important. So we have a couple windows here, and really kind of just guess and check and try and find the right pieces to put together along here. And you need smooth areas, and you need some with studs, and just trying to figure it out. A little difficult, but it worked out pretty okay. And on the front side is a little different with 3 windows as far as what it would allow for with the stripes, not as much. And on this side is the same as the other side. And the thatched roof. And this kind of starts out, if you start in the center with that one piece down there and then build from it, and then all these other long gray pieces are just kind of for stability. And kind of that's how it worked out. This used up a lot of pieces compared to the sections in the other one. Going with 4 sides really increased the need for these. But I stuck with what was in the set, so it worked out. And then again, another fireplace that's kind of a copy from one of the other rooms. And the tiling, this room I tiled last and just kind of used the pieces that were in the set again and came up with the best squares that I could. It was pretty difficult to find ways to build these kind of bookshelves and put things there, just, again, with pieces in the set. And this one here just did what the best thing I could come up with. And, it would really look good with all kinds of different things, desks or, a chair and a reading area or whatever. But that's kind of what I came up with. So the overview again, just backing up, is this section I wanted to fit in here and look as good as I could, like the original castle. And the one tricky part of this, or I guess there were a lot of tricky parts, but the most tricky part was doing this angle here. And you can see that there is a little opening there, which I'm okay with, but that line goes all the way back through the center of the set and kind of covered it up with some different tiling and stuff, and kind of made it so you can't see it that well, which is great. But it was tricky. If someone was to build this set and just forgo that and keep it a square set, it would be a lot easier as far as the connection point at the back where the tower comes with that back wall. Yeah, it would just be a lot easier. But I think it looks pretty good with that, and I really enjoyed the way that the front wall kind of added one more angle along here and connecting to the other sets. So I was happy with that. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of give some close-ups. Sorry I can't do instructions. I really would enjoy it a lot if I did, and that if people rebuilt kind of what I did, that'd be really exciting. But this is the best I can do, so this might be one of the more interesting views if you're actually trying to build something like this, to kind of see underneath of it that, you know, the set not being designed to be used this way, you can see a lot of smaller pieces that are kind of put in place to fit. But you can also see kind of the larger structure and how it all really starts with this big section here under the tunnel, and that section right there kind of going back underneath the larger war room, and then this right here. So along this seam is where the wall runs at the front, and then there is the angle kind of being built. And you come back along this way and you see that there is some more separation here, but I think that part's under the tower, or at least close to it, and kind of harder to see. And then some of these other areas you can see I've got more pieces on top there that kind of hide the seam a little bit better. And so that's kind of what that looks like underneath there. And trying not to break it, rotating it back over so you can kind of see where that all sits. And there's the whole set back together again. And as I said, the real focus was to try and make it blend in as much as possible and look as original as possible. So I think the key really was going with that copy-paste idea of just taking different pieces of the original castle and then doing it again kind of in a different location or using it in a different way. But pretty happy with it. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and for tuning in, and hope you have a great day.